Uh, Respected Principal Ma'am, faculty of the Iran International School, and most importantly, the future of our nation, our children, our students on whom we feel proud. Today, as I speak, we are going through a tough time, but this tough time is going to pass, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I must tell you that as far as the topic is concerned, this pandemic is an unprecedented pandemic. We never saw in our lifetime, and therefore we are facing it today. But you as young generation are seeing it right in the beginning, and you will come out much tougher than what we were during our lifetime. So therefore, the biggest advantage of the pandemic is that it will ensure that you all come out much stronger than what you were. Now, I also happen to be in the Confederation of Education Excellence and International Organization of Education Development, and we have been raising the voices of concerns of class 10th and 12th. And we are in touch with people who matter. So therefore, before I start, I will first try and address the anxiety of the children, because this is what affects you most. Firstly, class 10 children. I think the ruling is very clear. Wherever the exams have not started, the internal exams will prevail. Where the exams have started but could not be held, like some parts in Delhi where the riots were there, I think those exams will be done again, and the results will be together. The subsequent classes will be, if in your next class, will be tailor-made in a manner that maybe it will be a 9-month syllabus. The syllabus will also be tweaked accordingly, and so that this doesn't cause too much of burden for you. At the same time, you all find it comfortable and don't lose out. Now coming on to class 12, there is a little decision dilemma, and which you must understand. I must explain it in that manner. For class 12, the problem is there is a set of students who have already gone through the exams, but their papers have not been corrected as yet. There is a set of people whose exams did not take place. Some papers could not take place. And there is another set of students who their batchmates have gone through the exam, but they could not go through because of the riots. So there are 3 categories. Now, if you go for the internal assessment and forget about the exam, that is not possible, because most of the people have already gone through the exam. So the better option is that let the lockdown finish, and perhaps then there will be a exam. Within 10 days notice, they will give you time for the exam, and thereafter, once the exams are held, the correction module they are working out, I think they'll take about a month for correction, and all this exercise will delay you by about 2 to 3 months. Now this delay will get overset by all the universities. The first year will get tweaked accordingly for 3 months, that is 9-month syllabus. Similarly, people who have applied abroad, most of the universities in the world, they all understand this problem, and therefore your admission will not get cancelled. And in all probabilities, once you go through your exams, you will find your place where you have opted for it and where they have confirmed you. So this should take care of the immediate concerns. Now, the second most important thing is that, as I mentioned, these are trying times. More than 34 lakh people have been affected. More than 2.5 lakh people have died in the world. So it is a pandemic. But at the same time, you as children have to prepare for now 2 things. One, you have to prepare for your exam, whoever is affected. Two, you have to prepare for your competitions. And both will have to go simultaneously. The reason is that you will get shorter notice for the exam. That is about 10 odd days notice. That is what the education secretary was saying. So with that, what happens is that you cannot afford to be losing touch of your actual studies. So your studies have to go simultaneously. At the same time, your competition also has to go simultaneously. So you will have to divide your time on daily basis to address both, so that you don't lose touch. And the moment your exam comes up, straight away you start concentrating on the exam. Second thing is that in addition to your academic study, what will matter and what will prove result is your resilience of taking this pressure of the pandemic. And that is where I say that we all must grow to the occasion. And you all, I'm very sure that you all will grow to the occasion. Now, let me tell you a few other things regarding the pandemic. Now, what should be done in the pandemic, I think everybody knows. And it is being coming on TV every day. It is coming on your mobiles. And I think there is n number of channels on which you are being told what you should do. You should wash your hand, etc., etc. I won't repeat any of those things. I will only tell you the kind of opportunities which this pandemic is bringing for you. Firstly, as I mentioned, you will come out stronger. Secondly, you see our country. We must be proud of our country. And there are many reasons for it, and this pandemic is one of them. The pandemic started in China. China has gone through the entire sequence of this pandemic, and they started 3 months earlier, so they have opened up 3 months earlier. But the fact is, we are second largest population in the world. To control 1.3 billion people is not easy. And secondly, 130 billion people is not easy. Secondly, if you see that countries which have emerged out and who have done well in this pandemic, like Taiwan, they are technically savvy. They used big data analysis to see your contacts, like what we are trying to put it in that app which the Prime Minister keeps talking about, which you should download. And they ensured that everybody wherever he has got a contact, he gets the contact gets established. So they were able to map it, and that's how they have been able to flatten the curve, and they have been able to control it. In our case, the problem is we neither have the smart cards nor we have that kind of medical facilities. Despite that, because of discipline of our people, we have been able to control to a very great extent, in a manner that today we have just about 1100 odd deaths. In a day in India, 4,000 people die of road accidents. Now this number is down to almost about half or 1/3 as of today. So therefore in India, if you actually count on, much lesser people are dying as far as this pandemic is concerned. And the fact is, although every single death is a painful for us as a countryman, but the fact is we have to balance out and we have to see as to where we are heading for. In India, almost 26,000 people die every day. This figure has gone down to 1/3 because the pollution has improved. The road accidents are not happening, and the normal diseases which were caused because of pollution also have improved. The second thing is the way we have handled it. And I'm sure if everybody understands this responsibility and we actually handle it well, hopefully we should come out as a victor. And the entire world knows that we handled polio very well, we handled other pandemics very well, and WHO acknowledges that it will be India which will decide the future course, for the reason because we have the maximum population and the population density is maximum in the world of India. So how the spread takes place in India, all eyes are on us, and that is why we are actually a global leader as far as this pandemic is concerned. The second thing is, it is throwing open a lot of challenges. United States, they are concentrated on everything other than the health. And today, you know that in United States, more than 65,000 people have died and more than 10, 12 lakh people have got infected. And similarly, you see in China, the things are pretty bad. But at the same time, and China, because it started there, they are losing trust of the entire world. So the economic opportunities, the world manufacturing market, the factory of the world, which was China, is now going to shift, and a lot will come to India. And that is where the opportunity and growth is there for all of you children. So that is another hope which we have. Then what all this pandemic has taught us, I must tell you that as well. You see, this is the time when we realized that how important our health workers are. This is the time we realized how important a Safai Karmachari is. We realized that all those powerful people sitting at home, they cannot save us. They are these Safai Karmacharis, these health workers, these doctors, these nurses, they are the frontline fighters, they can save us. So their importance, the importance of health of everybody has got highlighted in this world. So now we will be more conscious of our health. The second thing is, this has also taught us, brought our families very close. In lockdown, you never spent that much of time with your parents. Today, you can understand your family. The family has actually got knit together. Then we have started using technology to our advantage. We are exploring the way we are talking today. We never did it earlier. Certainly not my generation. Today, when I see you all, when I see my 2 years granddaughter who is in class 2 attending classes on Zoom, then I feel that obviously I think all of you are much more intelligent than what we were. So I am very sure that these are the positive developments which are taking place. Then you see the another thing which has happened is, we have also realized as to how less we actually need. We have realized the differences between our actual need and the luxury. We have also realized that yes, you can do everything yourself. You don't need maids to that extent. We had become over dependent on maids. But now you all have seen that yes, we are now perhaps much more confident that yes, we can handle things ourselves than what we were perhaps before this pandemic. So these are some of the things which I'm sure are making a fair amount of difference in our lives. Now I must switch on to the next issue, and that is equally applicable whether it is pandemic or it is not a pandemic, because there are some of my thoughts which I certainly want to share with you. One is that as children, you must dream. And dream is not what you see at night. Dream is what does not let you sleep. And that is what the former president Abdul Kalam had said. Now, when I say this, your dream must end into an aim. Aims must end into some goals. And for every goal, to achieve every goal, you have to have a timeline and you have to have a plan. And that is where the faculty also has to come in to guide people as to how they must achieve their aim. So when you decide on timeline, you have to decide like this: what I want to do and what I can do now. So today, when you are sitting, what you can do now is that certainly you can prepare better for your exam as well as your competitions, as I mentioned. And you can learn a lot of things. You can learn a lot of hobbies. You can pick up new talents. And I think a number of us are doing that. So these are the opportunities, and that's how we must bring up ourselves and our personality. Second is that when you are working towards your progression, you must have confidence in yourself. You have to have a healthy body. You have to have healthy habits. You have to have discipline. And there is no dearth of opportunities. Today in this world, there are so many opportunities, and whatever you want to become, whatever dream you have, chase that dream. and you will find that you will come out victorious. In every dream, in every sphere, there are role models. You would have seen Roger Federer playing tennis, if you are a sports liking person. When he is on court, he doesn't think anything. When he wins, he just gives a smile and that's it. When he loses, he just again gives a smile and he starts with the next game and concentrates on that. So therefore, when you lose, you must work hard to win. And if you win, you must work hard to remain a winner. Now, these are some of the things which you must adopt. Second thing is that, as I keep saying, we must have pride in our country. We do see a lot of things going wrong. We do see a lot of poor. We do see a lot of, shall we say, crime, or sometimes you find riots taking place. Now, here I must explain you. We are a 73-year-old country. What we have achieved in 73 years, certainly we cannot dream of achieving what America has achieved in 250 years. If they took 250 years to reach where they are, we will certainly take 100 years at least. So therefore, we are a developing economy in which what happens is that 90% people hold 10% of wealth. And 10% people hold 90% of wealth. So 90% people have to scrounge for 10%, and that is why there is corruption, there is dissatisfaction. We have largest poor in the world, but the fact is, out of poverty line every year we take out that many people, as much as the entire population of United States. So this is the strength of India. Secondly, we are a strong country. You see what we did in 1971 war. We haven't lost a war after 1962. And even in 1962, it was a judgment error at the political leadership. As country, we never lost it. We were not there. That's the only thing which went against us. So the whole world realizes that in 1971, if you can divide a country into two in 16 days war, then this country has a potential. The whole world also realizes today everything what we do is a world record. This lockdown is a world record which has never happened in human history. The way people have responded again is a world record, never happened in human history. So everything what we do is a world record. Secondly, we have the youngest, educated, English-speaking, talented, young population in the world. We have the largest manpower, which is young, which is the largest workforce. And this is in our favor. And therefore, that is where I say that you have a tremendous future and you are going to make this country great. Because now, after this pandemic, you will find that those two big economic powers, people may not follow. US is a economy which is receding, and more than that is that people don't see them as world leaders for the reason because they have not been able to handle their own pandemic very well. China, nobody trusts them because firstly the pandemic started there, and secondly now they are busy making profit out of that. So this is also taught us another thing, that as a country we have to be self-reliant, as an individual we have to be self-reliant. So as a country we have to produce more, we have to produce all these technologies, we have to produce our medicines ourselves, and that is why this is another lesson which has come out of this. Then we also know that a lot of opportunities are going to come our way, and in that certainly whether if we take the our diaspora abroad, the diaspora is getting stronger. Diaspora are people who are working abroad. So in US, most of the rich people are Indians, are the richer lot actually, and bulk of the doctors, bulk of the frontline fighters of USA, these doctors and healthcare workers are from India. Similarly, in UK, India is a very powerful lobby. In UK, people who were criticizing us when we abrogated Article 370, they all started praising us because the elections were coming. And people who were criticizing, they lost the elections. That is the power of India. Even in United States, the Diwali is celebrated in White House because everybody knows that without Indian diaspora, you cannot win an election in United States. So that is the power of India. So that is where I think we have every reason why we should be proud of. So therefore, I will finish by saying, and I will take on the question answers, that with a country of our size, we all demand a lot from our country, but we have a responsibility towards our country. So with a demand, a responsibility comes. We want our rights, but then we must fulfill our responsibilities. And our responsibility is we must do what we can, and in whatever sphere we are, in whatever manner we are. Because remember, all of you are the future of the country. The country belongs to us. We are India. We are the country. You are the country. You are the people who are going to make the country. So we are India, and that is why I keep saying that we have to bring up this country together. We are in this pandemic together. We will fight it, and we will fight to win. That's all. Jai Hind. And now I'll take on the questions.